Okay. Sorry again for the delay. Welcome to the June 30th, 2026 Village Council special meeting. We're 10 minutes late. We'll call this meeting to order. Kristen, we do a roll call for attendance.
Trustee Myers.
Here.
Trustee Apatow.
Here.
Trustee Dahlman. Here. Trustee Orsick.
Here.
Trustee Handler.
Here.
President Dearborn.
I am here, and let's mute our phones, please, if you would. And I'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're at the moment where we would take public comment on issues not on tonight's agenda. So if you're here for beach-related, Dog Beach-related, Tower Road, Centennial, whatever, this is not the time for public comment. Is there anyone that would like to make public comment on an item not on tonight's agenda? Okay, seeing none, we'll close public comment. And we will move on to ordinance and resolutions. And before we begin, I'd like to take a minute to provide a brief introduction. Oops. Hang on one second here. And I'd like to take a minute to provide a brief introduction on tonight's agenda items and share some context for discussion. And we appreciate everyone being here, and we appreciate all the public comment that's come in for sure. When Winnetka was incorporated in 1869, the corporate boundary for jurisdiction purposes extended a half a mile into the lake. And so why that was done probably was a check and balance in some way, because recognizing that the lakefront is a unique and valuable asset for all Winnetkans. So lakefront activity is important to us here, and that's why we're involved. And the reason we're here tonight is really just to talk about what was a pilot program suggestion to establish an off-leash Dog Beach area at Tower Road on village-owned property. And so some of the folks may not understand this, know this, whatever, but down at Tower Road, roughly half of that beach is owned by the Village of Winnetka, and half of the beach is owned by the Winnetka Park District. There's been a lease in effect, and Peter, you could help me on this a little bit, but since 1942, where the Park District leases the beach from the Village of Winnetka and operates it for swimming and bathing and so on and so forth. So our thought here was to use the village-owned land down at Tower Road Beach, the 254 feet or so, for early morning, off-leash Dog Beach activity. We met with the Park District and representatives of the Park District. They're probably here tonight. Myself, Manager Kazinas, Attorney Friedman. We met with their attorney, Adam Simon. We met with President Gibson. And we met with Executive Director Nizal on June 8th and talked about this. And at the time, in the conversation, we talked about this pilot program down at Tower Road Beach, and I want to commend our village manager who put together a great logistical program for this, and our attorney who's worked very hard in making these documents work properly for this, and we think it could work. But part of that, and with agreement from the Park District, and their representatives are here, was to have, for this 8-week trial pilot program, have the Centennial Beach converted to passive use. And obviously that has met with some resistance. We understand that. We've all gotten the letters and the calls. But that was the idea, was just to move the dogs for 8 weeks over to Tower, early morning hours, and work around this lease agreement that we have with the Park District. And so our village attorney has worked with the attorney for the Park District to come up with a lease amendment that we think would have met the goal. We have an ordinance that would allow us to operate an off-leash Dog Beach, which again, we thought that was an amenity for the Dog Beach users. That was our thought going into this. It was for all the right reasons, I can assure you. We are not in agreement with the Park District on the lease language. They propose different language, we have different language. We're not fully together there. The Park District, and again, they're here, they could speak to this, but they had a meeting last Thursday night, and I think it's fair to say that even on their board, there's not broad consensus and support for this program. There were challenges that were put forward and highlighted. We think we could work through all those challenges, but we're not together with the Park District on this right now. And so I think that my thought on this, and I'm interested in what our trustees have to say, would be to do one of two things. Would be to defer this item to a date down the road when we have more time. We have 8 weeks here. We have July 8th to September 7th, and then that was it. So we don't have a lot of time to work on this beyond where we are today. And we think this would work very well. We have the logistics down. We don't think it would be chaos on the beach. We don't think it would be dangerous on Tower Road going down there. And we don't think there would be 52 breaches on day one of this dog beach. So we think it would work, but we're not together on it yet. So I think that there are one of two paths we could take, and I'm interested in what the trustees think on this, and we can move forward accordingly, however they want to move forward. One would be to defer this to a date in the future, date undetermined at this point. The other way to do this would be to consider our ordinances, consider approving those with an amendment, in my opinion, that would remove the Centennial Dog Beach language for passive use, and that would be removed, and the Park District would have full authority to make a decision on that front. And because that's not really our priority on this. Our priority was getting the Tower Road Dog Beach pilot program going. If the Park District wanted to change how they operate Centennial Dog Beach, they could do that. And so that's my thinking on this. And I'd like to just keep it up here to get trustee thoughts on this, and then we can proceed accordingly. Trustee Dahlman.
Yeah. Good evening, and thank you all for coming out. My thoughts on this is that I always looked at this as additive, and I apologize for not potentially seeing this earlier. I didn't think it as an either-or proposition. I think it's important to keep in mind that we've been told, the Park District has been told by, I think, Cook County Animal Control, that to have an off-leash area at Centennial, there has to be a fence. So the status quo is no longer apparently available, is my understanding. I could be wrong. And so knowing that when we did not approve the special use permit for Centennial, which wasn't just us, by the way, it was the Plan Commission, ZBA, every board, lots of residents who came out and objected to what I think one resident described as an over-engineered solution. I pressed, as well as other trustees, can't we do something to give our furry friends the ability to run free in Winnetka? And so that's what the genesis of the Tower Road Beach. Many of us, I think we were all unanimous in that, thinking that for the summer, wouldn't it be great, in addition to an on-leash area, which Centennial is currently, to allow an off-leash area at Tower Beach? You know, understanding that it's not perfect, but also being very practical that we aren't going to let perfect be the enemy of the good and deny people the ability to let their dogs run and swim freely at Tower Beach, operating in the constraints and what I think we thought about, knowing that Tower is primarily a swimming beach, to do it in the early morning hours so that there would reduce any conflict. I thought that was an elegant solution. And I guess somehow I missed the passive use at Centennial. So I think everybody's here tonight. I'd love to hear what people think, and certainly if we get to public comment, to understand who is speaking is a FOB owner, a registered Dog Beach user, and get their thoughts. And I like the idea of removing the passive use language from the Centennial Beach, because that is within the jurisdiction of the Park District. And I think it'd be great to have both available for this, interim period.
Trustee, who would like to go next? Trustee Orsic?
I did just want to correct, I don't think Cook County ever said they had to have a fence. I think that they've had an email out since 2023 saying, don't we need a fence? And Cook County won't respond. So I don't think that was correct. That's,
I should have said, I think we've been told.
yeah. So, anyway, I would not mind hearing what other people have to say. I was very excited about this. I thought it was nice. We're not the ones that have been trying to change Centennial Park. That is the Park District's. Frankly, if they're not excited about doing it with us and had a 4-hour meeting saying why they don't want to do it with us, it sounds like the dog owners are not interested and the Park District is not interested. So, and by the way, this shutting down Centennial was never part of my idea. I thought this was two things, and you could have your dogs on a leash on Centennial if that's what you liked. But
Hang on, folks. Let's hold the applause.
yeah,
okay?
but what I'm saying on top of that, I mean, I was like, yes, I was a part of an organization that started the first dog park in Chicago. So I was very excited about Tower Road. I was one of the people that said, let's just do it. I don't want to always be no, no, no. And like, if other people don't want to do it with us, we should do it alone. It's just going to be one thing after another. People complaining for whatever reasons they have because they don't want this to work. So unless the Park District is enthusiastically on board saying this sounds like fun for our furry friends, I'm fine just moving on.
Okay, all right. Trustee Handler?
Couple things. Well, one, again, thank you all for being here, and thanks for the emails that I've received. As I've read through them, though, I've been quite concerned that there's a lot of inaccuracies or just lack of information, I guess, or understanding of what the history of this project has been, and again, what our thoughts and decision process has been. I don't know if many of you know that initially this Tower Road concept was developed by a dog beach committee that was commissioned by the Winnetka Park District. And actually, Lakota Group had been hired and came up with a working concept, not the one that we were ultimately landed on. But shortly after a couple other things happened, the Park District decided to walk away from that suggestion. So that was sort of the impetus for us to say, hey, there's a lot of issues down at Centennial with dog owners not following the regulations that the Park District has set up, which is you have to keep your dog on a 6-foot leash 100% of the time that one is down at the dog beach. Now, I'm not only a dog owner, but I raised a litter of Portuguese water dogs. And I can't imagine playing fetch at the beach with my 80-pound Portuguese water dog who would drag me into the water and maybe almost drown me. So that either everybody has to follow those regulations if Centennial continues as a dog beach and the Park District enforces them and pulls people's dog fobs if that's the case, or we felt, well, we've got an elegant solution here. Let's unearth this plan that the Park District had actually initially come up with, and let's move the dogs to Tower Road Beach. I live up in that area, and I will tell you, dogs are already on Tower Road Beach every morning before the beach opens. But there's no regulation on that. So on one hand, this sort of addresses a couple. This was an elegant solution, as Trustee Dahlman pointed out, that we thought would in good faith would add an amenity to everyone, again, to be able to take your dogs off leash, which is the whole reason one brings a dog to a dog beach. We can walk our dogs on sidewalks and in our yards on a 6-foot leash. So again, the idea is that it's off leash. So I was very supportive of the plan, a version that we modified off of that initial one, and thought that would work well. Unfortunately, I think several of my colleagues and all of us have worked in good faith with the Park District. But as President Dearborn just articulated, it was made clear in their meeting that the Park District commissioners are not supportive of this idea. So I don't see a reason for us to continue to pursue it right now if we can't put in place what everybody is going to, take advantage of and enjoy. Yeah, so that's
Okay.
my thought for now.
Thank you, trustee Handler. Trustee Apatoff?
Agree with the elegant solution. That's what we all came up with, that we thought this was a really nice way to do this. This, as Kim mentioned, this was brought to us in 2021 or 2022 by a group, including Dog Beach owners and the Park District, and the village spent money developing these plans, clearly. Can we please hold comments, please? I've been a Dog Beach owner most of my life. Took my dog down. I have a brick down there on the walkway for the Centennial, and it was a lovely thing to do. We all enjoyed it, and I knew you guys, many of you in here are enjoying it. Game has changed a bit, as many of you pointed out in your emails and in your notes. So we are all for this as a very elegant solution. Would I love to extend the hours? Absolutely. It's maybe at night as well. There may be other options. This was a trial to see if it would work, to see how the dog owners would like it, to actually have the first legal off-leash beach in Winnetka. I thought there was a really elegant solution to start this and hopefully expand it to more hours after the proof of concept. But like Bob said, I've done too many deals in my life. You got to go in with willing partners, and both invested in the success of making this work versus trying to find reasons why it wouldn't work. And that's the language that we have problems with. And because of that, I'm open to deferring this
Okay.
decision.
Okay. Trustee Myers?
Yeah, I have to say I'm actually very befuddled by all this. I thought we could come up with a trial on Centennial Beach that would enable an off-leash dog beach. But no one showed up and talked about being in favor of an off-leash dog beach at Centennial. So, because what we have right now is an on-leash dog beach, right? As Trustee Handler said, a 6-foot leash, you got to have the dog under your control. You know, I don't know too many dogs who want to go swimming at the end of a leash, but there was really no public appetite for having a off-leash dog beach at Centennial. That was denied.
Okay.
Off-leash dog beach. It is currently
Okay, all right. Please, can we just,
the current Centennial.
folks, can we keep the comments? Let Trustee Myers speak here, please.
It is currently an on-leash dog beach, right?
Folks,
It's an on-leash. Well, that's an issue of, so.
folks, we're not going back and forth
So-
here. We're not going back, otherwise we're going to have to close the
Obviously,
meeting.
no desire to have an off-leash dog beach in the village.
All right, Scott.
So,
Folks, we're going to have to close the meeting. We're going to have to close the meeting if this continues. I'm sorry. So just let
this
Trustee
point-
Myers finish.
I have no desire to move forward with Tower Road if we want
Okay.
to leave it the way it is and have to enforce it as an on-leash dog beach, then we enforce it as an on-leash
Okay.
dog beach.
All right. No, we're not going to. So if I'm getting a sense here, I think we have sort of a consensus to defer this to a date to be determined down the road till this is more fully developed. It's not fully developed. We don't have agreement with the Park District. We don't have agreement with the Dog Beach folks.
I don't think we should do, I would like to hear from all the people,
If we,
because
I think,
I don't want to be insubordinate, but I do feel like there is a vast misunderstanding, right? That if I imagine most people here were very concerned about the prospect of Centennial going to a passive use.
but
That if-
Trustee Dahlman, what we would be doing here, if we defer this, and I think we've heard the public comment, there's no sense coming up and hang on a second. We're not, okay, all right. But if we defer, we know what the public comment is. We're not talking about Centennial, that would just, everything would stay the same, basically. Nothing would change, we're just going to defer this to it could be forever, it could be for a date down the road where we have a dog beach down a Tower Road that's more fully developed.
Bob, can I suggest we defer it until the Park District wants to do it? Because I don't want to just come back and keep talking. We have spent so much time and village resources and energy on the dog beach situation. I would just say, if the Park District wants to do this, and they want to come to us and do it, then we can pick it up at that time. But I don't want to defer it. It's not going to go anywhere. Nothing's gone anywhere.
Well, can I just want to add one other, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Just because of the crowd reaction, even if we hadn't heard comments, I guess I'd like to make sure everyone clearly understands, we did not set, and we do not set, the 6-foot leash requirement at Centennial. That is not a village process. That's a Park District ordinance. Isn't it? No. No.
Hang on one second, please.
I would defer.
Folks, we can't have the public speaking out like this. It's just interrupting the meeting. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to entertain a motion to defer this issue to a date uncertain. It may be forever. It may never come up again. I think Trustee Orsic made a suggestion that we'd be receptive to.
And let's clarify, what we are talking about is the Tower Road Beach. We are deferring the Tower Road Beach project.
We're deferring
Until-
this entire
until
issue.
whenever.
Correct. And there's no need, and I think there are 1, 2, 3, 4 trustees, maybe 5 on it, maybe 4, I don't know. But I think, is there a motion to defer this? All right. Trustee Apatow?
I move to defer items 4A, 4B, 4C, and 4D regarding the Tower Road Beach dog area to provide additional time and an opportunity for additional study.
Is there a second to that motion?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, wait, roll
call.
Roll call.
Let's do a roll call vote. Kristen?
Trustee Apatow,
Yes.
Trustee Handler,
Yes.
Trustee Orsic,
Yes.
Trustee Dahlman,
No.
Trustee Myers.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. All right, so this is deferred. Again, we received the public comment. We heard it loud and clear. We understand it. And the Park District, we're not,
I've
No,
been
no.
practicing a speech for 2 days while my dad's been in the hospital.
no, there's no public comment.
There's no public comment.
Okay, can you submit it to us?
Can I just, I've been practicing this while my dad's been very sick in the hospital. I will last 3 minutes.
No. No.
No.
I will last 3 minutes. I've
Sorry.
been in the hospital for the last 2 days.
I understand. Okay. You can submit it to us. Just, can you submit the comments to us?
We read them all.
Okay.
I don't think you guys
Thank you.
have a very good handle on what the public wants, and maybe if you sat and listened to us, and if you have to be respectful and listen to our viewpoints and where we are coming from and the data we have gathered, and for the years,
Okay,
the
I'd
dog
li-
lovers have been spending to make sure that the community knows and values, but you're not even giving us.
Yeah, I'd like to ask the board how you feel about hearing public comment on this issue at this.
No.
I'm
Not on the
fine.
agenda.
I'm fine.
Fine.
Fine with me.
We listen to all of you.
Under- Okay.
I'm asking for 3 minutes.
On the public comment, if the public comment, let's not be repetitive on it, no more than 3
I will not be
minutes.
repetitive.
Okay, go ahead. Introduce yourself and,
Hi, my name is Edward Farmer, and I've lived in Winnetka since I crossed the pond as a toddler 38 years ago. I'm here tonight because I love this village. This is the community that raised me, and this is the community that stood beside my family during the hardest times of our lives. Yesterday was the 23-year anniversary of the Chicago ports collapse. That day I lost my brother Sam, a lifeguard who spent his summers watching after kids at the beaches we were discussing today. Following his death, this village surrounded my family with kindness and support. That is the Winnetka I know, a community that understands people need places, relationships, and moments that help them heal. Today, my life looks different, but those needs haven't changed. Both my parents require support. Many nights are long, many mornings are difficult. The proposed early morning only hours for dogs simply does not work for me. The beach is more than a place for my dog to run. It is where my dog and I find peace. It is where, after days caring for my parents, I can breathe. My dog is more than family. He's my emotional support animal. The only animal, be it human or dog, that I can truly rely on. I'm not here to complain. I'm here with a solution. If there are concerns about dogs entering other parts of the beach, put a gate up on the north side. You have already set the precedent by adding one on the south side. It's a practical solution that addresses concerns while preserving access for responsible dog owners. The families who use these spaces have paid taxes and been a part of this wonderful community for decades. We care about this village. We follow the rules. We pick up after our dogs. We're not asking for something extravagant. We're asking for a safe place where our dogs can exercise and where people can find joy, connection, and relief. I believe Winnetka is better than taking away something that means so much to so many without providing a reasonable solution. I hope you'll choose the Winnetka that has always been there for its neighbors, not just the ones directly to the south. Thank you.
Thank you. I think, folks, I think we have, we've already made the motion. We're not changing the dog beach. Everything stays as is. Okay? So there's no reason to argue with us now that we should keep it as it is. We are keeping it as it is. There's no change. Thank you. Okay? So I think that's it. I think that's it. Is if there's any reason to make public.
One point on that point.
Okay.
Just really briefly. Thank you.
Yep.
I'm Christine Casper. I live at 226 Sheridan Road. I have a dog beach fob, and I just want to say this part, that the ordinance tonight shows that it's false that the only possible solution is a chain link cage on Centennial Beach. You're moving us to a beach with no fence at all. So why can't the village use home rule, or at the very least, request a less intrusive fence or barrier at Centennial instead of relegating us to a tiny window of time at the crack of dawn in a different location? That is not a fair exchange. And Centennial Beach getting turned into a sizzling patch of sand with no access to water does not serve the best interest of the village. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, folks, I think we've heard it. I think we're going to adjourn this meeting now. And before we adjourn, I would like to ask for a motion to adjourn to closed session for the purpose of discussing the purchase of real property, probable imminent and pending litigation, and review pursuant to sections 2C5 and 2C11 of the Open Meetings Act respectively. Under the motion, when we adjourn the closed session, this public meeting will automatically and immediately adjourn without the conduct of any further business or comments. May I have that motion?
So moved.
Second,
Roll call vote, Kristen?
Trustee Orsick?
Yes.
Trustee Handler?
yes.
Trustee Myers? Yes. Trustee Apatow?
Yes.
Trustee Dahlman?
Okay, thank you.